Guys, it's Frank from PBH, and in this video we're going to be talking about the all-new set of gauges from Dakota Digital for your 94 to 04 Mustang. So Dakota Digital has been pumping out cutting-edge products since 1986. They have a multitude of different lines that have been used on thousands of hot rod builds and custom builds across the world. And what we're going to be discussing in this video is their latest offerings from their VHX line for the 94 to 04 Mustang. The VHX series of gauges comes with fully lit needles, backlit faces, and LCD message center. Additionally, the VHX series of gauges have a lot of internal upgrades. You're gonna have stepper motors, you're gonna have solid state sensors, and you're gonna have a customizable display. Now that is your message center. So you can actually go through a lot of the inputs that you're feeding the gauges that aren't actually displayed on the gauge face itself. So you combine all the LCD screens and the backlit needles and all that crazy stuff and stepper motors, and you start punching them out in direct fit applications, and you can see why with the BIM expansion, these gauges are a really good fit for just about any coyote swap you're doing. Because with those BIM expansion modules, we can pluck a lot of the information directly from the computer and avoid having to do all the pesky wiring and conversions to try to get your gauges to sweep. Now, all of that stuff is available for your 94 to 04 Mustang, so that means all your SN guys and your New Edge guys. These gauges are a really cool option for you moving forward on any project. So up to now with the 94 to 04 Mustangs, when we're looking at gauges pertaining to a coyote swap, we had a little bit of a problem when we got to the 99 to 04 cars. Now the previous 94 to 98 cars weren't as much of an issue because they had a traditional gauge pack, which means that the senders on the engine were directly wired to the cluster, and as long as they were connected to each other and had power, they would show. But in 1999, all the way through to current production, we were introduced to CAN bus, which means the computer was handling all the instrumentation with inputs going into the computer directly. So what guys have done up to now is they've used their stock computer in conjunction with a Coyote computer to get the factory gauges to work, which isn't a bad option, but it's not the easiest thing to do. It does take a lot of wiring, and you have to figure all these things out. And if you're doing a swap on something like a Bullet, a Mach 1, or a Cobra, that might be the best option for you so you can keep your factory gauges. But for everything else, and even for those applications, these Dakota Digital gauges are a really cool option because they are direct fit, so they'll work in your dashboard without any modification, and it allows you to expand to a lot more instrumentation, all while keeping a OEM-like look with an upgrade. Now the reason why these gauges are such a really cool upgrade is their expansion modules, what they call their BIM series of modules. These BIM modules are available for a lot of different things that are outside of what you see on the gauge face itself. Now what it will do with the CAN bus module is pluck a lot of the information from the factory computer so that your gauges will work with that information, just like a factory cluster would in an 11 and up Mustang. And what that means is you're going to be able to get engine coolant temperature, tachometer, even speed in some cases directly from the computer instead of having to use modules and senders to create those signals. Now when it comes to coyotes, you're never going to get oil pressure from the computer. It's just not something it monitors. It doesn't create an actual pressure reading. The only thing the factory gauges do is give you kind of a warning light when you're below a certain threshold of oil pressure. So Dakota Digital includes an oil pressure sender in all their kits, so you can go ahead and get a full sweep of oil pressure. You're also going to get a water temp sender in that package as well. It's optional, you don't have to use it if you have the CAN bus module, but if you're not using the CAN bus module, the water temp sender and oil pressure sender, they're in the box and they're ready to be installed. Now when it comes to speed signal, we have a couple options. You can actually use the factory OSS or VSS with a conversion box to get the pulse per mile corrected so the gauge will read properly. Now the other option is you can use a GPS BIM module. Now that GPS BIM module is pretty trick because it has a built-in antenna and it doesn't care what size wheel you're using or gear you're using. It's always going to be correct as you're driving and it's finding your position on planet Earth. It's really easy to wire up, really easy to program as well. It just plugs right into the VHX control module and gets it working. Now when it comes to your fuel level, you can actually use your factory fuel level sender from your 94 to 04 Mustang. The programming for that is built into the VHX module. Now you're going to follow their instructions, which are very detailed, and you'll be able to select from a certain series of ohm readings. Now we're going to include some information in the description to tell you what ohms are available from 94 to 04 for this gauge cluster so you can pick the right one. But you're going to be able to find those correct ohm readings in there, select the right one, and once that's done, you clear the programming, your fuel level sender, if working properly, is going to be reading out accurately. Now in the case you're using an aftermarket fuel level sender or you just don't know which ohms you have, you can actually map the fuel level in the VHX programming. You can actually pre-program warning signals for just about any parameter in the cluster itself. So as long as it's getting that reading, you can actually set up a warning light for water temp, oil pressure, even your check engine light can be turned on if you have that wire available to you. The VHX series of gauges for the 94 to 04 Mustang are available on pbhperformance.com. They retail for $7.95 per set. They're made here in the USA. They come with a full installation kit and are available in several different finishes. You're going to have a silver or black finish for the gauge face, and then you also have the option for white, blue, or red backlighting. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification button. We got a series of videos coming out for all sorts of new Coyote Swap products. You can go to pbhperformance.com and follow our blog. On there you'll also find links to our Facebook and Instagram as well. If you have any questions about the product in this video, make sure you post up a question down below and we'll be there to answer it for you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.